All right, now we're going to be talking about checking accounts. Now, checking accounts are a little bit different than savings account in that it is more of your day-to-day money management. So this is the account that you are going to use on the short term. You put money in to spend. So you have your everyday expenses, checking accounts, your bills that you need to pay. This is kind of a constant flow of money in and money out. Usually checking accounts have no interest to them whatsoever because the balance keeps changing from month to month. Checks are kind of like cash. So whatever it is that you have in your banking account, a check is going to show that you can use that as cash. And what the person is going to do is, it's kind of like a contract. It's a legal document. And what they're going to do is, if they've got a bill to pay, they're going to use a check. Most of the time people don't like to send cash through the mail. Once cash is lost, it's lost. With a check, if it gets lost, you can usually do a stop payment on it, or there's an easier recourse, something that you can do to make sure that that money is not taken out of your account. So this is what a check looks like. You're going to write in the date here, and then to pay the order of is who you're giving the account to. So usually it's like the phone company or the electric company. You're going to put in the numeric value of whatever the bill is here. And then down here, you write out the amount in word form. So remember doing that back in first and second grade. That comes back in handy of filling out the amount. And these two amounts must match. Must match. If not, they're going to void the check. Down here where it says for, once we get our little sign out of the way here, where it says for, you're going to put in, for instance, you might put in phone bill, or you might put in electric bill, and you might even put in the month for that particular bill. And then down at the bottom where it says MP, you're going to sign the account. Now the numbers at the bottom of the account are three separate things. First of all, you have your check number here that should match in the top right hand corner. The next number is usually what they call the routing number, and then the next number is the account number moving to the left. So you have your checking account number, then they have what is called a routing number, which is the routing number of the particular bank. In a checking account, you must have enough funds in the account. Otherwise, if you do not and you overdraw your account, it's called a bad check. And if you've ever seen those signs at stores where they say that there's a $20 fee that you will get if you make a bad check, if the check bounces, what they say bounce, usually the facility that is receiving the money, they have to cover the funds of the check, plus they get fined as well for having a bad check. You will also be fined by that institution, and your bank is going to fine you. Now, most bank accounts now will find a way to take the money out of your savings account. If you have both a savings account and a checking account at a bank, most of the time, they're not going to let you write a bad check. They will let you overdraft, and they'll take that money from your savings account. But usually there is a fee that is put into there. Now, there are people out there that frequently write bad checks, and these people could actually go to jail. That is frauding the bank, and also it's using money that you don't have. It's stealing. And it is your responsibility to keep track of the transactions in your check register. Now, a check register looks almost exactly like a savings register, except there are a few different things. First of all, there is a number here that you're going to put in. So for instance, right here, we have our check number of 301. The date that the check was written, so here they have October 5th. Description of the transaction, so this person wrote a check at the Gap. The amount of the check right here, and then over here you keep your running balance. So we started out with $1,300, so starting out with this new bank account, and so they put in their code for A, which is an automatic deposit. This was done on 8/25, paycheck was the description of the transaction, and because this was a credit, a deposit, it's put into this column. So they started out with a $1,300 balance minus the $2,350 because you wrote the check for $2,350 here, and then the total is running in the gray area of $1,276.50. Most of the time you're going to receive a statement, whether it's online or from on paper from a bank. And this can happen every month. Now, this is a little bit obsolete because for the most part, people have access to an online bank account and they can see their running totals. This is just to help you practice in seeing what this information looks like. And it's going to show every transaction that you make. So they have the dates, they have the description, whether it's a deposit, it could be a check number, it tells you the amount, and it keeps you organized pretty much. And at the top, it tells you your balance of what you have in your account based on that particular date. So what you have to do is make sure that the balance that the bank has matches the balance that you have on this. A bank account or a bank account statement is also going to help you organize. So they have all the deposits listed, they have all the withdrawals listed, and then they have any other withdrawals that are taken out as well. This could also be where ATM withdrawals could come from. So we're going to watch a video about the difference between a checking account and a savings account.
Alright, I'll catch you later. I gotta run to the bank.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I ran out of money in my checking account, so I gotta make a transfer over from my savings.
Transfer?
Yeah, how else am I supposed to pay my rent?
You just write a check from your savings account. Done deal.
I'm pretty sure I would know if you could do that.
Let me see your checkbook.
Alright.
You just write a check like you normally would, and then in the memo space you write, "Please take this money out of my savings account," with a little smiley face in case the teller is having a bad day.
This works.
Every time.
Alright, thanks. I'll try it.
I really hope you don't actually do that. Your checking account and savings account are two very different things, with very different features. Here's what you need to know. Checking account is where you put your money if you need easy access to it. And yes, you get a checkbook and a debit card so you can make withdrawals. Checking accounts place comparatively fewer limitations on where and when you can deposit or withdraw your money. So the balance of your account likely ebbs and flows with your expenses and income. Because of this turnover rate, however, the balance in your checking account does not earn interest, making the account an ineffective savings vehicle, but a highly effective transactional one. The opposite is true for a savings account, which is intended to be a tool for investing rather than spending. Savings accounts are largely inaccessible compared to checking accounts, not offering a checkbook or debit card, and requiring either a withdrawal or a transfer to a checking account in order to spend its contents. This is by design, of course, because when left untouched, the balance of your savings account accrues interest over time, suitable for long-term wealth building. There's also a major difference between the two accounts in the eyes of banks. You see, the classical banking business model relies on collecting interest off of loans, and those loans are funded by the bank's savings account deposits. Don't worry, your money will be there when you need it, but until you do, the bank lends it out to other customers. Just make sure your bank and account are FDIC insured. With checking accounts, money may be withdrawn quickly and unexpectedly, so it's not in the bank's best interest to lend it out. That's why checking accounts have some fees that savings accounts don't have. But when it's 3 a.m. at a creepy gas station in the middle of nowhere and you need to fill up your tank, you'll be glad your checking account is there to foot the bill, fees and all. Savings accounts and checking accounts are used for drastically different reasons. So if you really do need to pay your rent today, please go to the bank and don't try to write a check from your savings account. But I will say the smiley face was a nice touch as far as mistakes go. Hey there, I'm thinking we should see more of each other. If you'd like to...
Maybe not. All right, so to continue on,
watch more of my explanations,
let's see, and I think that's it. So that explained the difference between checking and savings account.